Uzi needs to stop giving so many features to the value of Uzi. Okay, let's do a little update on Uzi's status right now. We've discussed he's potentially gonna do a Yeet collab tape. Now, I don't remember when we talked last on stream. Now, who is benefiting more?
Yeet or Uzi?
Yeah.
I think the best thing that Uzi can do is disappear. I'm tired of seeing you, Uzi. Like, no disrespect, but like the fans need to miss Uzi. And I think there's just this growing frustration where they're like, yo, Uzi's down the block. Oh, we just saw Uzi at this random wedding, which this was a super long time ago. But there's this frustration with, oh, we're seeing you, Uzi, but we're not getting music. Whereas if he just disappeared as a whole, the entire hype will build back up. And that's kind of like what Cardi does. Cardi doesn't really pop out unless something's happening, whether he's performing, whether music's dropping, whether music's going to drop. Like artists, there's a delicate balance between being seen a lot and having a mystique to you where people start to miss you.
But did Uzi ever do that?
He didn't.
That's the issue.
But I think there's certain things that happened and they're not gimmicks. But for example, Uzi had like Eternal Atake saga was like 2 years, but the storyline, I think storyline is better. The storyline is, yo, my label's holding me back. So all the fans are like, man, fuck the label. Like we need to like mess with Uzi. They're not letting him drop. So hype builds up. Then before that, Uzi was really just coming up. And he was consistently dropping. So dropping 3 tapes in a year, and they're all hard. Some of the best mixtapes of the past 10 years. Everyone's like, yo, this is crazy. And he's just coming out. And then Love is Rage 2 happens with EXO Tour Life. That's before Love is Rage 2. So now you have a hit. So that's another storyline. Not really a storyline, but that's just another era where you have this smash hit song. Now everybody's hearing about you. But ever since then, we haven't really had a storyline for Uzi. We haven't really had like a struggle for Uzi other than the thing that happened with St. John. There's nothing.
So it's what do you think he can do now? Because I feel like obviously you can have different hot periods in your career. I mean, Future's been hot multiple times. There's been a bunch of rappers that are like that. They'll like, go in a little lull, but then they'll come back if they get like a poppin' song. But for the hype, such as what Uzi had in 2016 era, 20 to 18, and then what Cardi has now, you really only get that once. Because once people have seen a certain amount of pictures of you on the internet, whereas Uzi's literally been to fucking Korea and back and posted pictures with everyone's mom and girlfriend, like, can he get that hype back?
I don't think the hype necessarily went away because he's known. I think he really got screwed with 2020 not being able to do an Eternal Atake tour.
Okay.
I think Eternal Atake tour would have just taken everything to the next level, kind of like how Playboi Carti's tour did for him.
So he should have waited, is what you're saying.
Waited to drop Eternal Atake or waited to tour?
To drop Eternal Atake, and then so he can kind of tour shortly after.
I mean, Carti didn't really drop till December, and he toured he was able to 2021. I think he could have just done it middle of 2021.
Uzi.
Yeah, because that's only a year after Eternal Atake. But I think he just put Eternal Atake behind him so quickly. Like, oh, when did Pink Tape started being talked about? Beginning of 2021, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. No,
yeah.
maybe it was Pink Tape. I don't know. No,
or maybe halfway through.
He did like Love is Rage 3. He did Forever Young, and then Pink Tape is more of a recent thing, like 2022 maybe, or late 2021. But yeah,
I think he just needs to drop without for example, like what Sofego did. Just say, hey, I'm dropping a tape. Oh, it's tomorrow. And if it's good, like Uzi's built up so much goodwill that if it sucks, I think he just goes back to the drawing board and says it was a tape and makes another project. And if it's hot, it's hot. But I don't think he needs to do a tape with Yeet.
I think what's going on with Uzi is he's not doing anything different than what he did before. But since we've come into this new era of the internet, all information passes so quickly, and since Cardi is so rare, like, and Uzi and Cardi fans are very similar people, maybe have separated a bit more since 2020 or even earlier. But now they expect Uzi to start being so rare when he was never rare at all. He just went in eternal Atake, like he just threatened to quit or whatever, which I guess might be a little rare in a sense. But I think Uzi's just living his life how he always has, and the comparisons to Cardi have fucked over his career.
I think he just needs to either, because I think people are getting tired of being teased with music. So I don't think necessarily people want, like me personally, that's the issue. I'm like, yo, I'm tired of seeing Uzi if it's not music related. That's why I kind of want him to go away. But I think fans are just really frustrated because back then he had the story of they wouldn't let him drop. So the fans are more understanding and they're like, damn, we're going to rock out for you. We're going to spam drama and canon. But now nobody's stopping you from dropping. You're dropping what some fans are saying are good snippets. Some fans are saying are trash snippets. Like what's stopping you at this point? So fans are frustrated at Uzi now, as opposed to his label when he was taking too long to drop Eternal Take. Because this is 2 years and 3 months since Uzi has dropped any solo project.
Right. I think he's scared. He doesn't know what snippets people like. Are you there? Did you die?
Yeah. Nah, I thought you were gonna finish your thought.
No, I mean, I just think that he posts so many different snippets and he like trolls people with like bad songs. But a lot of people think that he's trolling with bad songs. I think I talked to you about this. Like I texted you. He's trolling people with bad songs, allegedly, and then everybody starts hating, and he's like, oh yeah, that wasn't real. But a lot of people aren't going to believe that, one, and two, I don't know if that's even, he's probably lying. So
I think he's got to stop caring and listening to people. And I said this in the video. I was like, yo, Uzi, like, no, if Uzi was throwing snippets around of when he was first coming out, he would have never dropped, because people would have been like, yo, this is trash. What are you doing? But he put that music out and a lot of people thought it sucked, but then a lot of people started to love it. A lot of people are just gonna love the music. Like a lot of Cardi fans that just messed with Die Lit, initially they didn't like Whole Lotta Red, but they came to love it. And I think Uzi just needs to stand behind his music, because if you as an artist are not confident in standing behind your own music, then the fans' initial perception will strengthen. So for example, let's say Uzi drops something. Uzi right now, they're like, oh, he's like, oh, I dropped a snippet that sucks. This is not the real snippet, this and that, when he gets negative feedback. If he dropped the project and people didn't mess with it. Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but they're more likely to change their opinion or to give it another multiple listens if Uzi's like, yo, this is my best work, or not my best work, but yo, I put a lot into this project. This is going to go so crazy. And he stands behind that. And if people say it sucks the first listen, he doesn't say, oh, don't worry, I got a deluxe for you guys coming next week. That's the songs that you guys want. Like, no, he just stands behind it. I think fans will give it another chance, maybe a second, third, fourth listen. And then some might say, oh, damn, this sounds a lot different from older Uzi. But, I'm kind of getting the vibe of this. I'm kind of getting the direction where he's trying to go now and change things up. If he is trying to change things up. Because I think if Uzi stays the same, he's going to stagnate.
But see, that's where the comparisons to Cardi come back in. Because Cardi literally had the same, negative publicity, and then he stood behind it. And so Cardi and Uzi kind of became opposites in their methods. And then,
But Cardi had shows.
yeah, I was about to say
he was
that.
able to tour.
So maybe you're right that Eternal Atake shows were the reason that he didn't, or it's perceived badly now, the album.
I don't think it's perceived that badly.
Or not like, it's not high standards of Uzi. Like people don't go back to Eternal Atake if they're gonna give you an Uzi album.
Yeah, I could see that. But I think it's just because it happened so quick. Like, you got to think about it. When was the last time Lil Uzi Vert went on his own tour? This was like 4 years ago.
I don't know why he doesn't want to do it.
Well, I think he was waiting for Eternal Atake, and then it didn't happen for a year and a half.
But even so, can't he just perform different songs? I feel like a tour and like all of the antics that Uzi does while performing, like he low-key had lit performances before Cardi.
Yeah, and you got to think just the way he interacts with fans, like him running around, the fans chasing him, like that his shows would have gone more and more viral, but that just didn't happen. And that's something that's out of his control.
It's completely in his control. He could set up a tour.
Yeah, but he's not going to tour off an Eternal Take now. It's like 2 years, 3 months. Fans are like, yo, we want new music.
Fuck the fans at that point.
Well, they're the ones that's going to pull up to the show.
Nah, I feel like no matter what you do as an artist, fans are always going to be like, oh, drop something else. Because just the internet has created such a fast food type culture that they could even be satisfied. Like you can't even listen to fan comments anymore. You really just gotta listen to the data. Like the comments are so polarized that I feel like comments don't represent the actual sentiment of an audience.
All right, let's put it like this though. What do you think hits harder right now that would have more fans excited for? The Eternal Atake tour or the Pink tour? And he's got Sofego opening up for him.
Pink tour.
All right, so for that to happen, he would have to drop Pink Tape and then go on tour for that.
Right, but what happened the last fucking 2 years? He could have gone on tour last year and it would have been fine.
Yeah, but that's in the past. We can't like knock Uzi for past decisions when like we're trying to consider what's his best course of action right now.
But to consider the best course of action, we have to understand the faults.
Yeah, that said, I think it's a fault that Eternal Atake tour didn't happen. I would love to know the behind the scenes of why it didn't happen, because it was never even announced that. Well, I think he briefly mentioned it, but they could have scheduled it for 2021.
What? The EA
the
tour?
Eternal Atake tour. Yeah.
He did like a virtual performance, but that was just not like, I don't know.
And I think the concept, just the whole concept of Eternal Atake would have been a crazy tour.
Yeah, with like alien, he could have been abducted onto stage and shit.
Yeah, they could have had like UFOs, spotlights, all that.